concept or consciousness by which you operate, you begin to shift into a deeper level of awareness of who you are, as consciousness is expanding, as your consciousness is expanding, which is really your self-awareness of you on a deeper level. So when we examine the stories associated with the ascended masters, Dalai Lama and Buddhist monks, the yogis in India, and even Scientology, here comes, there's the idea still of heaven somewhere. The Muslims and their 72 virgins in heaven, that comes from somewhere. There is, as I mentioned before, the inner world, and then there's the deception, there is the cover-up over the confusion of this whole idea of heaven and what that actually probably really means. So the idea of heaven is a distortion of this interdimensional travel. That's really what we're dealing with. That distortion of heaven is really, it's really about this interdimensional travel. Fantasy has been created around this natural progression as a way to redirect human beings from discovering that possibility. Again, there would be no one to rule, and the prize is power. Remember, and I don't know if you remember this cartoon. When the kids were little, there was a cartoon called He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Pretty interesting when you look at some of the cartoons today, and even then there's so much that these writers were putting into this, and if you research a lot of those writers, you find out what their background is. Many of these people are from have a background in either Freemasonry or some secret society, possibly even, of course, Scientology, but they're tied in generally to one of these various spiritual organizations. So there is indeed opposition. There is opposition, but of course this is a cosmic game. Everyone wins, however. Everyone will not awaken to this realization and move towards entering into higher levels of consciousness all at the same time. It's not necessary. And that is the illusion that we keep hearing over and over again, is the idea that everyone is shifting and going into this deeper level of consciousness, and that is not happening. As you can see, the world, looking at the world out there, that is not the case. The world is occurring based on every single individual's reason for existing on the planet, and what their belief system is, and the part of the planet that they have been born into, and why they're born there. And if they leave that area for whatever reason, then of course, then that's all based on their journey. But the whole bottom line is, every single individual, regardless of the fact that we are one on a much deeper level, it doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. The individual has to carry out their journey. The individual has to be able to carry out their journey, whatever that journey may be, and you can't make that decision for what that individual needs to experience. Okay, so as I said, everyone will not awaken to this realization. Very few. So even the Bible does say that the very few. So there is definitely something to that idea of very few. And it's not because anybody is more special. Let's just throw that out. Nobody is any more special than the next person. It's just a matter of where we are in this journey, and our reason for being here, and our own awakening to the fact that there is more. So all this special stuff that they've been spitting out is just another part of the distraction. Okay, so this is a scientific realization about realization of the nature of this cosmic game. Now we talk about the programming, and of course all of the influence that goes on, and of course the upload for new programs is based on 48 megahertz brainwave for mind control, and of course your brainwave can be measured for mass amounts of people, yes, and with the technology today, They can get mass of people to brainwave to move into the field frequency that is essential, like 480 megahertz. So anyway, want to go on. Nassim Haramein talks about the fact that space-time is imbued by a force that causes it to spin. And of course, we exist within the fabric of that force, yet we are also that force. And of course, I'm adding to it because, you know, this is true. He says that as well, that it is imbued by a force that causes it to spin. That's what he says. And of course, we exist within the fabric of that force, yet we are also that force. So in essence, we are folding or curving in on ourselves, as they talk about space-time curving in on itself. Space-time, you know, is us, not individualized us, but the overall consciousness, the vast consciousness, the overall consciousness that is everything. Us, us from that core aspect of who we are. Curving in is curving in on itself. So it's like giving birth to itself over and over and over again, or as he talks about the bang, the big bang is ongoing. It's not one bang, it's an ongoing bang that's going on, which that bang continues to birth. There's an